Welcome everyone to Steph's Garage Jewelry. Today we are going to have so much fun. We are going to be making the snowflake earrings, Let It Snow. What we're going to be doing with this particular set is we're going to do a netted bezel on the bottom half. And then we'll come up here and do this little bit of embellishment over around the 6mm round bead. And then we'll just connect everything. So this is going to be a fun, quick project. And let's gather our supplies and let's get started. And if anyone has any questions, feel free to reach out to me. You can contact me on Facebook at Steph's Garage Jewelry, or you can contact me through this YouTube channel. Just note through the YouTube channel, it might take me a little longer to get back to you. All right, everybody, let's get started. All right, so for your thread, you want just a little over 1 arm length. I actually go from the tip of my arm to right across my chest, and that should be plenty, because what we're going to do here is we're going to separate this into 2 separate components, and we're just going to bezel first the Rivoli, and then we'll do the second component, and then we'll connect everything. So go ahead and do 1.5 arm lengths and meet me back here. So an arm length will go from the tip of your arm to your shoulder, and then about half is what I like to do is just go all the way across my chest to the beginning of the next shoulder. So go ahead and put your stop bead. I would give yourself a couple of inches. All we're going to be doing with our tail is going back through and doing a couple of half knots later on. So that's all we're going to do with our tail. Go ahead, and what we're going to do is we're going to start off with our 11/0 round seed beads and then our 11/0 Delicas. And what you want to do is pick up one after the other. So I picked up starting with 11/0 round and then my 11/0 Delicas, and you want a total of 12, and you just want to alternate them. Okay, so that way you have, you know, every other. Then we're going to do is we're just going to create a loop, a circle, and I like to always reinforce. This is a good spot to do our first reinforcement. So go ahead and go all the way around, and after you've gone all the way around, go through at least a couple of the beads here, and you want to be coming out of a Delica when you end up going all the way around plus some. So here I've just went through all the beads a second time. Now I'm going to go through my first 11/0 round and then my Delica, because I'm going to make sure I'm coming out of a Delica. There we go. Just like that. There we go. There we go. And what we're going to do is we're going to create 6 little pikes, basically, to and those are going to be our little nets to catch the Rivoli on the bottom side. So what we're going to do with each net is we're just going to go, first we're going to pick up 1 11/0 Delica, then 2 11/0 round, and then 1 11/0 Delica, then 1 11/0 round, and then 1 11/0 Delica, then 2 11/0 rounds, and then 1 11/0 Delica. Alright, so let me just repeat that. I got 1 11/0 Delica I picked up, then 2 11/0 rounds, then 1 11 Delica, then 1 11 round, then 1 11 Delica, then 2 11 rounds, and then 1 11 Delica. And I just slide that down. So I'm coming out of 1 11 Delica. I'm going to skip that 11 round and go through the next 11 Delica. And I'm just going to repeat this over and over until I have 6 little pikes, and you'll gone all the way around. So go ahead and do that. Meet me back here, and then we'll do the next step. All right, once you've added all 6 of your pikes, go ahead and go through them, each of the pike, following the same thread path as before. And then meet us back here once you reinforce it, and make sure you're coming out of one of the pikes at the very tip. So where you have a Delica 11 round seed bead and a 11 Delica, you should be coming out of that very tip 11 round seed bead. Once you've done that, meet us back here and we'll go ahead and get started on the next step. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to connect each of the very tips of each of the pikes together with 5 11 Delicas. Alright, so go ahead, pick up. So we're coming out of this first pike at the very tip. So we're coming out of here. Go ahead, pick up 5 11 Delicas. And then what you're going to do next is at the very next pike, go through the next very tip 11 round seed bead. Just like that. And go ahead and do that for each pike. So let's go ahead and do that again. Just like this. So I picked up 5 11 Delicas, coming from one pike, tip of the pike to the next and going through, and go all the way around. And I don't worry about tightening things until I start reinforcing. Okay, once you start the reinforcement, that's when I tighten things up and it should start to cup. So go all the way around and then reinforce everything at least once, and then meet me back here. And what you want to be doing is you want to make sure that you are coming out of the very fourth 11 Delica. So you should be coming out of, let's say, for example, this 11 Delica. So that way you have 1 11 Delica, the pike, and then 11 Delica on the opposite side, okay? And don't worry, I will remind you when we come back, okay? Alright, so now that you've added the 5 Delicas in between each pike and you've reinforced, you should be coming out of, so you have one pike here, then you should be coming out of the 4th Delica, okay, right here. And for example, so that means I have 1 11 Delica and then the pike right beforehand. What we're going to be doing is we're going to take our 14 millimeter Rivoli, go ahead and just set that in there, just like so. Alright, and it should fit in there fairly comfortable. There. And so I'm coming out of the 11 Delica, the one that's right before the 1 11 so you should have 1 11 Delica before the pike. So I'm coming out of this one right here. I picked up a 15 round seed bead. I'm going to skip over this 11 Delica, and I'm going to skip over the 11 pike and then the next 11 Delica, and then I'm going to go through the second 11 Delica on the opposite side and then go through 3 11 Delicas. Okay, just like this. There we go. And what I don't worry about tightening things completely until I start doing my reinforcement. So what I'm going to do, let's do this again. There we go. So we're coming out of this 11-0 Delica right here. So we have one 11-0 Delica before the pike. So you should always have one 11-0 Delica before the pike. We're going to go through, we're going to skip this 11-0 Delica, skip this 11-0 round CB, which is the pike, then skip the, on the opposite side, one 11-0 Delica, and then go through three 11-0 Delicas again. Okay, just like this again. There we go. There we go. And we're just going to repeat that again and again until we go all the way around. Let's do that one more time because we're working with such tiny beads here. So coming out of this 11-0 Delica, the one right before the pike, skipping over the one on the opposite side of the pike, and then going through the next three. Just like this. Oops. And I don't want the, there we go. And then I just continue to do that all the way around, okay? And actually, let's do that together because I want to show you the reinforcement on this. Now we're just going to reinforce, and that's going to, you know, just kind of tighten at the same time naturally. There we go. There. See, things just come back together a little bit better once you've done your reinforcement. And you don't want to, you know, pull too tight, but you want to bring it in a little bit. And this kind of helps. There we go. Alright, so go ahead, tighten all the way around, and then meet me back here and we'll get started on the next step. Alright, once you've reinforced that last step, go ahead and weave your way through till you are coming out of that 11-0 peak that we initially had. So right here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add a picot to the top of each of these peaks, and we're just going to weave our way in between each peak to do that. So I'm coming out of here. I'm going to pick up three 15-0s, and if you notice on the blue stone, I did a different color. So I had a dark blue here, and then I had a turquoise up here. On this particular one, I'm going to use the same color as I have on the inner side. It's just a preference choice. It's up to you if you want to switch colors. So I picked up three 15-0s. I'm coming out of one side of the peak and going through the opposite side. There we go. Just like that. And then I'll go ahead and I'll just reinforce each of those little beads. And with the little picot, I tend to like to reinforce them one bead at a time. It's just 3 beads you're going through, so it doesn't take that long. So just like that. And it just kind of helps it keep its shape on the top. All right, and then go back through that 11-0 round seed bead at the peak. All right, and then I just weave my way through the 5 11-0 Delicas. There we go. And if things get too tight, you can always switch over to a size 12 needle. And I might have to do that. Nope, I got plenty of room. There we go. And I'm just going to show that to you one more time. So I'm picking up 3 15-0s, coming out of one side of the 11-0 round seed bead, going through the opposite side. There we go. And then I just go ahead and reinforce by going through 1 bead at a time. There we go. All right, and then go ahead and go all the way around. And once you've completed that, go ahead and I would do 3 to 4 half knots with your tail and your top thread here. And what I suggest doing is doing your knots in the back, and that way nobody sees anything. You can't see my knots back here. And then we're done with this component. Then we're going to do the second component and then attach everything, okay? So go ahead, put on your picots on each of the peaks, and then meet me back here and we'll get started on our second, after you've ended your threads and done your half knots in the back. Once you're done with that, we'll get started on our second component. All right. Alright, so now we're ready to go ahead and create our second accent. So go ahead. I would do about 1 arm length of thread. You're not going to need a whole lot. And then put your stop bead about just a few inches from the very end. Alright, and then go ahead and thread your needle and thread with your 6mm. I'm using a drop bead, but you of course can use a pearl or any 6mm round bead. You could even no, I think in this particular case we're going to want to stick to the round beads. I won't go there. Go ahead and do that. Then what you're going to want to do is take your 11-0 accent Delica, add 1 to your thread, then 3 11-0 Delicas of your main color, then 1 11-0 Delica, your accent color, and then 3 11-0 Delicas of your main color. And go ahead and slide that down your thread. So you can see here, I have my accent 11-0 Delica, then my 3 main colors, my accent 11-0 Delica, and my 3 main colors. Alright, so from there, what you're going to do, and this is, there we go. You're just going to go, you're coming out of one end of your 6mm, I can't speak. You're coming out of your one end of your 6mm drop bead or pearl or round bead, and you're going through the opposite end. So you're just going to do like a loop with that 6mm round bead in the center. So you got that. There you go, if you want to give yourself a little room here. Then what you're going to do is you're going to pick up 3 11-0 Delicas of the main color, then 1 11-0 Delica of the accent color, and then 3 11-0 Delicas of the main color, and then 1 11-0 Delica of the accent color. So it's the opposite that what we did before. We started off on the, when we first started, we started with the accent color. Here we're ending with the accent color. You're coming out of one end and then you're going through the opposite end, just like this. Doesn't look like much right now, but that's okay. And it doesn't matter which direction you're going. I tend to like to go through the accent color. I don't know, maybe it's just a visual thing. And what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and go around 2 times. There we go. Of all the 11 Delicas surrounding the 6mm pearl. So we're just going through the Delicas all the way around. I apologize if I got out of camera there. There we go. And so that was our first round. There we go. And as we go around, things will tighten up. There. Now this will be the second. I want to make sure that I end up at the very top, because what we're going to do is we are going to be putting on our wire guard, and that will help protect and make things look more professional with our earrings. You could technically do a loop. I just think it just looks a little bit more professional using a wire guard. Okay, so I'm coming out of, and you want to make sure that you are coming out of the accent bead next to where the hole is. And if you're not certain, you can always verify by putting your needle through the hole, okay? And I'm going to be doing that near where the tail is for me. There we go. And what I'm going to do for the wire guard, there we go. Let's just talk about this a little bit before we do it, is I'm going to be putting the wire guard so that way the seed beads will sit on the opposite side of this accent bead. So I will be coming in and out of this accent bead a few times to reinforce. So the wire guard has 2 holes at the bottom. And at the top, it's open. So you want to make sure that the thread sits in the grooves of the open. Alright? So I went ahead and picked up 2 15-ohs. I'm going to go through the one side of the wire guard. Then I'm going to go through the opposite end of the wire guard, just like this. And I'm going to make sure my thread sits in the little groove here. Now, if for some reason it slides out, just make sure you adjust it and fix it before you tighten everything. Then I'm going to pick up 2 more 15-ohs, and I'm going to make sure that I go through the opposite side of this accent bead. Just like this. Of course, my thread would catch as I'm doing this. And as you can see, the thread came out of the little wire guard, so I just fixed it. And then do that, reinforce this section here. I would do it at least three times, okay? These earrings are fairly light, so I wouldn't worry too much about it, and you're not going to be pulling on it too much, but if you want, go ahead and do 4, but go ahead and reinforce that. Meet us back here, and what we're going to do next is attach our piece to this component to our other component down here. Right, so what we're going to do next is we're going to attach this section to this component to this component. So when you're looking at this component here, we should be coming out of the accent bead of either side, okay? Go ahead and pick up one 11/0 Delica, one 3mm bicone, and one 11/0 Delica. Go ahead and slide that down your component. All right. And this looks the same either side, so at this point you don't have to get too worried about which side you're doing it on, okay? This component's reversible. Then take your other component, flip it to the back, and then if you notice here, you have the 1/11/0 Delica, and then you have your peak, and then your 11/0 Delica. And what we're going to do is we're going to enter in from one side through the 11/0 Delica, go through that peak, and then go through this 11/0 Delica, and then put on the other leg. So you want to make sure you pick a peak that has plenty of room to move in and out of. Right now I'm using a size 10 needle and I have plenty of room. So if I need to switch to a 12, I still have room. Alright, so I'm going through this 11/0 Delica. I'm just going to go ahead and slide that on. Now I just want to think a little bit because I want that accent bead to be sitting, the accent bead here to be sitting in the middle. Alright, so I'm going to go through this pike, that 11/0 round, then I'm going to go through the 11/0 Delica, just like this. And I'm going to pay attention. So I want my next leg to be over here. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up a 11/0 Delica, a 3mm bicone, and then 11/0 Delica. And I'm going to enter in through the accent bead up here on this side going in this direction. There we go. There we go. And then I'm just going to reinforce that 3 to 4 times. And then I'm going to go ahead and either weave in and out at the bottom or through here and do 3 to 4 half knots or both. And then go ahead and end my thread. And then, here we go. Here is our Snowflake, Let It Snow earrings. Thank you, everybody. I greatly appreciate you. Oh, before we do that, let me just put on the ear wire. Alright, so you just open up your ear wire just like a jump ring. And when you put it on, you got to remember that your ear wires can be sitting on your ear like this, and you want this to be the front. And if you put it on backwards, not the end of the world. You can just reopen it and reclose it. So then you just close it just like you would a jump ring. And then you have your earring. And by the way, so there's a couple of things. So we did both components, but if you wanted to, you could just done the single component by itself and added an ear wire, and it would have been a beautiful earring as well. Even just this little component by itself, the top component, makes a cute little earring as well. So just a couple things to think about. Just wanted to say thank you, everybody. I greatly appreciate it. And again, if you have any questions, go ahead, shoot me, send me a message through Facebook or this YouTube channel. Just know that it might take me a little bit to get back to you, especially on the YouTube channel. I greatly appreciate everybody's feedback and so forth. I'm enjoying this, and hopefully I've gotten a little bit better. I think I have. And looking forward to some more fun and interesting projects. Take care, everybody. Stay safe. Stay healthy.